Imagine a world without beds, a world where the comfort of a mattress is a distant dream, and families huddle together on cold, hard floors. This is not a scene from a distant past, but a present-day reality for many. A world where electricity is a luxury, where the flicker of a candle is the only source of light after the sun sets, and the hum of a generator is a rare sound. Nights are long and dark, filled with uncertainty and fear. A world where owning a bicycle is a distant dream. In these places, a simple bicycle can mean the difference between access to education and a life of illiteracy, between reaching a clinic in time and succumbing to illness. This is the harsh reality for millions living in the poorest corners of our planet. Crowded slums and impoverished villages are their homes, and queuing for basic supplies is a daily routine. This is a world where survival is a daily struggle. People search through garbage for food, children suffer from malnutrition, and families live in makeshift shelters, constantly battling the elements. Where basic necessities we often take for granted are yearned for. Clean water, nutritious food, and safe shelter are not guaranteed, but are instead precious commodities that are hard to come by. Defining the poorest country in the world is complex. It involves more than just numbers and statistics. It requires understanding the lived experiences of those who endure this hardship daily. Data is often unreliable and ever-changing. Discrepancies in data collection methods and outdated technology make it difficult to paint an accurate picture of poverty. But some nations consistently rank at the bottom, trapped in a cycle of poverty. Despite efforts from aid workers and international organizations, these countries struggle to break free from the chains of destitution. Countries like South Sudan, Burundi, and the Central African Republic bear the heavy burden of this title. Their landscapes are marked by hardship, and their streets tell stories of resilience and struggle. These nations, primarily in sub-Saharan Africa, face a perfect storm of challenges. Conflict, climate change, and poor governance have created an environment where progress is stifled. Conflict, climate change, and poor governance have crippled their development. War-torn areas, drought-stricken lands, and crumbling infrastructure are common sights. They are caught in a downward spiral where poverty begets poverty, and hope struggles to survive. Yet, amid the despair, there are glimmers of hope, as children look forward with dreams of a better future. Poverty is more than just a number. It's a lived experience that permeates every aspect of life. It's the gnawing hunger in a child's belly, the despair in a mother's eyes as she watches her children suffer. The face of poverty is diverse, touching the lives of women, children, and families across the globe. It's the farmer who can no longer grow crops due to drought. It's the young girl denied education because her family can't afford school fees. Poverty is the inability to access health care, leaving the sick and vulnerable without treatment. It's the lack of clean water and sanitation, leading to preventable diseases. It's the absence of opportunity, condemning generations to a life without hope. Poverty is a relentless cycle, trapping families for generations. It's a web of interconnected challenges, each one exacerbating the others. Breaking free from this cycle requires addressing its root causes. Lack of education is a major contributor. Without education, people lack the skills and knowledge to secure well-paying jobs. They remain trapped in low-wage, insecure work, unable to lift themselves out of poverty. Limited access to healthcare perpetuates the cycle. Illness leads to lost income and pushes families further into poverty. Without proper nutrition and healthcare, children are more susceptible to disease, hindering their development and future potential. Conflict is a major driver of poverty. Wars and violence displace communities, destroy infrastructure, and disrupt economies. They create a climate of fear and instability, making it impossible to build a better future. In conflict zones, schools are destroyed, hospitals are bombed, and homes are reduced to rubble. Families are torn apart, and millions are forced to flee for their lives, becoming refugees in their own countries, or seeking refuge across borders. The impact of conflict extends far beyond the immediate violence. It disrupts agricultural production, leading to food shortages and famine. It hinders access to education and healthcare, leaving a generation scarred by trauma and deprivation. Section 5. A changing climate, a barren future. Climate change is a growing threat to the world's poorest communities. These communities, already grappling with numerous challenges, find themselves on the front lines of a battle they are ill-equipped to fight. Rising temperatures, droughts, and extreme weather events are wreaking havoc on crops and livelihoods. Farmers watch helplessly as their fields turn to dust and their once fertile lands become barren. For those who rely on the land for survival, climate change is a matter of life and death. The loss of crops means not just a loss of income, but also a loss of food security. In regions already struggling with poverty, climate change acts as a threat multiplier. It intensifies the hardships faced by these communities, making it even more difficult to break the cycle of poverty. It exacerbates existing inequalities, pushing vulnerable communities further into poverty. The most marginalized are often the least responsible for climate change, yet they bear the brunt of its impacts. The impact is particularly severe in sub-Saharan Africa, where agriculture employs a significant portion of the population. Here, the changing climate threatens not just individual livelihoods, but entire economies. Droughts wipe out entire harvests, leaving families without food or income. The lack of water not only affects crops, but also livestock, further diminishing the resources available to these communities. Floods destroy homes and infrastructure, displacing communities and spreading disease. The aftermath of such events often leaves lasting scars, making recovery a long and arduous process. As the planet warms, the situation is only going to worsen, making it even harder to escape the grip of poverty. Urgent action is needed to mitigate these effects and support those most at risk. Section 6. When opportunity vanishes. Poverty thrives in environments where opportunity is scarce. Lack of access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities creates a cycle that's difficult to break. When people are denied basic rights and opportunities, they are denied the chance to lift themselves out of poverty. In many developing countries, corruption siphons off resources that could be used for development. It undermines governance, weakens institutions, and erodes public trust. When corruption flourishes, it is the poor who suffer the most. Lack of infrastructure is another major obstacle. Without roads, electricity, and communication networks, it is difficult to attract investment, create jobs, and improve living standards. It leaves communities isolated and cut off from opportunities. Section 7. A Glimmer of Hope. Despite the immense challenges, there is hope. In the face of adversity, the human spirit shines brightest. Communities are coming together, united by a common goal to uplift one another and create a better future. Across the globe, individuals, communities, and organizations are working tirelessly to combat poverty and create a more just and equitable world. From urban centers to remote villages, the efforts are diverse, but the mission is the same: to bring about positive change. Their efforts, while often facing significant hurdles, offer a beacon of light in the darkness. Teachers are educating the next generation, healthcare workers are saving lives, and volunteers are dedicating their time and energy to make a difference. International organizations like the United Nations and the World Bank are implementing programs to improve access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. These initiatives are crucial in laying the foundation for sustainable development. They are working with governments to promote good governance, strengthen institutions, and create an enabling environment for development. By fostering partnerships and collaboration, they aim to build resilient communities. Non-governmental organizations, or NGOs, are on the front lines of the fight against poverty. They are often the first responders in crises, providing immediate relief and long-term support. They are providing essential services to those in need, empowering communities, and advocating for policy changes that benefit the poor. Through education, healthcare, and economic empowerment, they are making a tangible impact. Their work is critical in addressing the immediate needs of the most vulnerable, while also working towards long-term solutions. By fostering hope and resilience, they are paving the way for a brighter future for all. Section 8. The Power of One. While the challenges of global poverty can seem overwhelming, it's important to remember that every individual has the power to make a difference. Even small acts of kindness, multiplied many times over, can have a profound impact on the lives of others. Supporting organizations working to alleviate poverty is one way to make a difference. Donations to reputable charities can provide food, clean water, healthcare, and education to those in need. Volunteering time and skills can also make a real difference in the lives of others. Raising awareness about global poverty is another crucial step. Talking to friends and family, sharing information on social media, and contacting elected officials to advocate for policies that address poverty can help bring about change. Section 9. A call to action. The fight against poverty is a fight for justice, equality, and human dignity. It is a fight that requires a collective effort from individuals, communities, governments, and organizations around the world. By working together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a healthy, fulfilling, and productive life. Let us not turn away from the suffering of others. Let us not allow poverty to persist in a world of such abundance. Let us answer the call to action with compassion, determination, and a steadfast commitment to creating a more just and equitable world for all.